Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another speed build, and today we are going to be building a cute little suburban home inspired by the little image I will pop up on the screen here shortly. I found it on Pinterest and it was under a section called Wandering New York, so I assume that this is kind of like a suburb of New York, maybe upstate or something like that, but I thought the shape of the home was so cute. I like the kind of Cape Cod style, and I like the very realistic tiny front porch with like the side entrance where the driveway is, and I thought that I could easily replicate it with these base game windows, like the bay window in the front with the green shutters and the green window trim, the sash. So I decided to give it a whirl. I was in the mood to build something more realistic and family inspired versus fairy and magically inspired. I needed a little break from that, to be honest. So that is where the whole inspiration comes from. I just needed something different, and in this case, something different was something more normal. So I did have to work around with the roof shape for a long time and also the home shape because I wanted it to have some nice little like bump outs where there could be more room for the upstairs, because there are 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom upstairs, and then there's also a little powder room. Well, I guess it's technically a small bathroom downstairs near where the laundry is, where the little driveway entrance is, but you'll see that very shortly. Again, I just took a very long time to do the roofing because I wanted to get it just right, and I actually did this house twice and I had to bulldoze because I got so frustrated with it and start over again. So the reason this one went so fast and I had to do very minimal editing on the first footage that you just saw is because that was my second time going around and trying it again. It just really frustrated me. It's so funny because it's such a simple shape, but it really got to me. So hopefully you enjoy it, and if you do, please be sure to like and subscribe and check it out on my gallery because it will be uploaded by the time I finish this video. But yeah, let me know what you think, because if you like a lot of family homes, I can always build more family homes. If you want to see more magical homes or some hybrid kind of family homes that have a whimsical feel, let me know. I don't want to overdo something that we're seeing constantly. Plus, I do know we're getting a new expansion pack relatively soon, maybe in like October or something. Waiting on that to officially get announced, I guess in a couple days as of the time of this recording. So we'll see where that goes, but it looks like it's going to be kind of an outdoor kind of archery, maybe like vacation destination or kind of expansion pack. So that looks interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about another outdoor retreat / Sulani hybrid, but again, we will see, because I'll probably end up getting it anyway. It doesn't matter if I like it or not. I'll probably end up getting it anyway. If anything, just for the build buy items, because I always need more of that kind of content in my library. But here we are finishing up the exterior. I pulled out these base game awnings and I put them above the front and back windows, and I did use Tool Mod to adjust the size and also just the positioning of them because I wanted them to be in the right spot. I really like those as well from the inspiration image. I think it's just, again, very normal, very suburban family home, not too crazy, not too fancy. And then I wanted to adjust the downstairs as well because I wanted the shape to be more interesting. So I kind of got rid of 2 little corners here on the side of the back of the house, and then in this little corner I think I end up putting like a bin or something. I'm not sure, like an outdoor bin of some kind. But you'll see that I have currently fenced in the backyard. I do change my mind on that because what I ended up doing was keeping like half of the fence but leaving the rest of the backyard open and having that be kind of like leading into the park right behind this lot. But I did put like a grill in the backyard and I think like a flower box or something for planting, and I think also a bee box. This was a couple weeks ago. I think I finished building this and in like the middle of August or something, and then I finished doing all the editing by August 24th or 25th. But I have just been so caught up, and let me know if anyone else feels this way. My children are back to school, or at least my oldest child is back to school. He started kindergarten. So it has been a whirlwind of making sure everything's ready, making sure everything is labeled, making sure I got the correct things on the list, making sure that he knows that, hey, when you're at school, like make sure we behave because you've had the whole summer off and we've, you know, he's kind of been running the whole house basically for the entire summer, just doing whatever he wants. And like, remember, we listen to our teachers and we're nice to our friends. And I think I've been more nervous for it than he has, but he seems to be doing very well. He's excited every day to go back. So for the whole end of August and beginning of September, I have just been completely caught up in the kid thing, in the back to school thing. So I was putting off this voiceover. I was just so exhausted by the end of the day, and I still am, but I wanted to get this out here because I thought that I should finally share it and put it up on the gallery so everybody can use it. Now you'll see I've added the stairs and a little bit of separation to the downstairs of this home. I do use the newer fridge from, I think that's the Restoration Workshop kit with all the like stickers and the magnets and stuff on the fridge. I really like that. And then the brand new base game countertops that came with that most recent update. I thought that those would work really well in here. And I did go with like a honey-toned wood and gray kind of countertop, like a granite texture. I thought that that was nice and simple and easy. I also used the sink from Restoration Workshop and then the dishwasher from Parenthood. I also swap out for this stove from, I think, Growing Together, because I like how that matches with the dishwasher from Parenthood. I use those two pretty interchangeably together all the time. And then of course the matching upper head cabinets. I did something weird at first down here when I was throwing in the cabinets, and I threw in this like big kind of pantry looking one. I wanted to separate the room a little bit, so I threw in some columns, and I tried to separate the room just with columns and like a long half wall type of thing and a spandrel. I didn't love the way that it came out in the end, so eventually I end up changing that and it'll just jump to being completely different. So here's where you'll see instead I have the columns and spandrel over where the TV is to kind of block off from the main entryway of the house. And then I have laundry in this little tiny side room, this very awkward long rectangle. I do end up moving that in a little bit because I decided to pull out the water tank and the circuit breaker box, and I put them over in the corner, and then I shut off that little section, like that's the utility room, and then over here is the laundry room section with a laundry basket, and then I decorate it with a bunch of laundry day stuff. And then this front entryway ends up having this cool little entryway hutch with like the sweater and the scarf hanging up, and that's also where I end up putting the burglar alarm and the thermostat. And there's a cute little ottoman for taking off your shoes and like getting ready for the day, getting ready to head out, or coming home from being out. I thought that that was just a cute little realistic touch. And I did use this lovely wall paneling just in plain white because it matched the back of the hutch. And that's like purely the inspiration behind that. It was very simple, very simply inspired. Also, I know you can't see it because everything is gray, but I used the gray floor tile from the Home Chef Hustle kit. Okay, or the Home Chef Hustle game pack or stuff pack. I used that flooring because I thought it was really nice and it matched kind of the texture and the tone of the countertops. So I hope that you enjoy that as well. Also adding a table and chairs, very simple for right now. I think I end up keeping that same table and chairs. I liked that it was just kind of like easy and sleek, kind of looked like it came from IKEA and they just put it together real quick. Also the couch is from Dream Home Decorator, and then the console table where the TV is sitting, I think came with a base game update a few years ago. And then for the little laundry room, I just use a simple wallpaper with some wainscoting in a gray tone as well. And you'll see this little tiny bathroom coming together here. It's nothing special, but I do use the Parenthood wallpaper, and then base game shower and toilet, and then the sink I believe is also from base game, but I'm not 100%. That might be from Parenthood. And I had to throw in my regular bathroom accoutrements. So we have the plunger, the toilet paper roll, the soap pump. We have a little night light as well. We have a candle and some toilet paper rolls on the back of the toilet. And then I add a cute little towel here on the wall next to the shower. I think it's nice to have just an extra bathroom downstairs, so I enjoy putting them down here when I can. There's also like a cleaning supply tub I put on the shelf along with some towels, and then a little tiny plant on the very top, because why not? And then over in the laundry section, like I said, we pull out this laundry day shelf in this black swatch, and I just think it looks so perfect right there. It just looks like a little laundry room. There's also a decorative laundry basket like on wheels, so thought that fit nicely. And then here's where I'm closing off the utility room over here, and I just repeat the same wallpaper, and I just keep like my standard bathroom light in there. There's really nothing else going on in that room, but at least you can access it if you need to repair or upgrade any of those things. So I thought it was just nice to have. I was really going for a typical family home for this. That was like all I was thinking about was the things I have going on in my own home. What do I constantly worry about needing to be fixed? So that's kind of where I was going with this. You can see what's been on my mind a lot lately. But we have some stuff going in over here by the sink. These are from, I think, the kitchen clutter kit, like the dish rack and the soap pump and stuff. And then also this lovely kitchen scale. I use Toolma to lower it down and size it down a little bit, put it on top of the fridge. We also have some food canisters over here on the corner shelf. And then we have a little cookie jar and then some cooking spoons and utensils, some spices, a little arrangement of herbs that I think came with, I don't remember. I think that's also kitchen clutter. I think those are so cute. And they're very similar to another one we got from Bloomin' Rooms, but I really like these because you can kind of tell they are specifically herbs. I also put in the little coffee mug set over here by the kettle. And I like the kettle because you can either use it to make tea or coffee or just hot water or whatever. So thought that was a nice little addition to have. There's also a Lazy Susan on the dining table, which I just thought was so cute. So I could not help myself, but that is there. And we have some curtains from Dream Home Decorator that I think match the whole emerald green and kind of fun but also understated motif of the living room. The rug I think is from Life and Death, and I really like it because it's just kind of, it's very ornate, but it also just ties in a very family feel. Like it's not super duper fancy, but it definitely looks like it could be if it wanted to be, you know what I mean? And we have some decorations going up on the ledge. I just threw in some plants and such. And then over by the front door, we have a coat rack and a little entryway rug. I also threw in a rocking chair in the living room and a little end table, which I believe is from Cats and Dogs, or it could be from Laundry Day. Yeah, I think that one's from Laundry Day. It's really cute, and I like how it kind of matches the rest of the wood tones. And of course, my favorite lamp from Businesses and Hobbies, it's the Kitsugi lamp. I just like, it's so pretty. I can't help it. It's like an art piece. And then some more plants going in, some wall ones and some floor ones. And then we have an ottoman by the window. So a lot of extra seating in here in case you have people over and they want to all watch TV or something, like the TV season premiere event that happens. And then also a coffee table with the standard upside down book, and then also a little drinks tray. And I think I broke out the Debug TV remote, so I put that in there as well. Another rug under the dining table just to make it nice and cozy. And I believe that one's also that was either from Tiny Living or Dream Home Decorator. And I just kind of threw a bunch of decorations from kitchen clutter all over the wall. So there's painting, there's this hanging fruit and vegetable basket. Can't forget the trash can in the kitchen, so I threw that in there as well. And then we're going to work our way over to the office space. So this is like the exit to the backyard, but it's also an office. I made sure to put a bookshelf in here, and I believe the bookshelf is from Parenthood. There's this big, beautiful French door into this room as well. And then I use a lot of the Comfy Gamer kit to decorate this computer desk. So we have like the computer tower, the computer itself, the pen and pencil cup, this little cow plant, hanging plant was fun, and then a drink on a coaster. And then I broke out some shelves, and I do kind of just rearrange everything on this desk and on the bookshelf and on these shelves just to kind of tie it all together. I think that they do have a teen in this house because I decorated teen's bedroom. So I think that the teen might hang out here to do some kind of work or gaming. Maybe this is like the family computer, and she just has a laptop upstairs, which is strictly for like homework and stuff. But I think this is mainly for the father of the family because he is into programming. And that is kind of where I went with that, is that like dad works from home, he's a programmer, and mom does some odd jobs around town. So they don't really have any typical jobs, but they do a lot of work in all kinds of areas. Like mom is kind of a jack of all trades and dad likes to work from home. And then the daughter wants to get into gaming and streaming. So she also uses this computer to kind of get her foot in the door with that, because obviously this is a high-end gaming setup from the Comfy Gamer kit. And then we have just some decorations all over the place, like vintage video games and, you know, everything you might need, headphones, microphone, etc. And then on the wall, I just put some empty photo frames to fill up later on. And then we're going to work our way upstairs. I repeated the same flooring, which I believe is from Eco Lifestyle. And then her room is very purple and very girly and very fun. I used a lot of the same wood tone that came in like Businesses and Hobbies and Tiny Living. I think that it just, having this wood tone consistently in a lot of packs was very helpful. So I wanted to kind of cling to that and use it, because you know how unpredictable wood tones can be in this game when we get new packs. We never really know if everything's going to match itself or not, or if it's going to match other packs enough to be versatile. So when I find one, I try to stick to it for the entire house. But she has her little laptop up here and also a very nice gaming chair. On her desk, I did throw on a lot of like makeup and girly things, like jewelry and a little arts and crafts box, and I just tried to arrange them as best I could so that your sim could still get into the desk and not have any trouble with it. But I wanted to look like she uses the desk for makeup as well as homework as well as arts and crafts if she wants to. And I also put a nice little candle tray on top of her dresser to add a little more light in this corner. For some reason this corner is just so dark, so I also picked out a standing lamp from Businesses and Hobbies and kind of tuck that into the corner a little bit to give a little bit more light. And we also have some posters on the wall, all the typical teen posters that came from a mix of base game and high school years. And I tried to just arrange them in such a way that it looks like she made her own little collage over here on the wall. She's very, very into art and music and makeup and gaming and all kinds of things. So wanted that to kind of translate that she has a lot of interests, and this is like her little getaway. When she comes home, she goes right up to her room and does her thing, unless she's doing gaming, in which case she might use the downstairs computer to get some streaming experience. And then I also wanted to throw in some neon signs on her wall too, because I think she enjoys those. Then we're out in the hallway though, very boring. I just put a little hutch out here, and I believe I clutter it up with a whole bunch of other little stuff like baskets and bins, and I think I throw the decorations box, like the holiday decorations box, somewhere in this hallway. I also wanted to put like some board games up here, so maybe this is where they store away all of their things seasonally that they use, and because they don't have like a basement or an attic space, this is kind of like their little tiny storage spot, and they try to make it look as nice as possible. They also have a little corner shelf, and I never realized how well it kind of blends in, this corner shelf from Cats and Dogs, with this hutch thing that came with Laundry Day. So I kind of stuffed them together, and I think it looks really nice. Also a little plant in here just to take up some space in this enormous hutch, because I didn't want it to look so empty. There's the decorations box going in though, and I also repeat the same light from downstairs, and I tried to just keep the hallway really simple, so I threw on some basic curtains here in the hallway, and then we will probably get some paintings up on the wall here too. Yes, it looks like I picked out those leaf paintings, very generic leaf paintings all over the walls just because they're the easiest to match, and some more hanging plants and a little rug. I think that one is also from Laundry Day, and I just sized it down a little bit. Then in the bathroom, this gave me a little bit of trouble because I was trying for a while to just work with the shower stall, but then I decided I would prefer a walk-in shower situation using the Love Struck like glass panel kind of thing. It gave me a hard time because I tried to close off just the little square where the shower was, and that made it its own room. And then when I changed my mind and I didn't want to lower it down or raise it up, it would not stop thinking it was its own room, and the lighting was weird, and it drove me crazy. So I had to end up deleting the entire room and redrawing it again. So here's my second attempt at the shower, and I think it looks really nice. I used some frosted glass from Love Struck, and then I also threw in a little shower caddy near the shower head because I thought that was necessary. But otherwise the bathroom is pretty standard. We have soap pump, we have the plunger and toilet paper roll, we have a little hutch above the toilet, and then just a painting on the wall. And then we're going to work on the parents' room, which is arguably the most boring room in the house, because I think by this time I was like, okay, I want to be done now. It's been that kind of summer. How was your summer? Mine was terrible. I just couldn't wait for it to be over. I was hoping that fall would come quickly, and luckily it has. Life is still complicated, but we're getting through it. It's not as bad as summer. So yeah, hopefully I will be able to upload more often now. I'm just working on a lot of things behind the scenes that are just not super pleasant. So life of a single mom, I guess. But we have just a very standard parents' room. I use the same wallpaper that I use downstairs in the utility room, just a different swatch. And then I threw on some generic wall decorations. They also do have a TV in their room and a little tiny table in front of the TV for little decorations and whatnot. But I just tried to keep this room really cozy, kind of dark. Just like this is the landing pad for the parents at the end of the day. This is just very chill, very clean. Everything is put away. There's no stress. There's a little basket of pillows and blankets and stuff, and also a little selection of laundry baskets here by the side table. And then I threw in, I think, some flowers on the table and maybe some other little doodads. I'm not even sure what. Oh, look, I brought out the house plants. That's good. I'm glad I did that. I totally forgot. But I really like those new live house plants. Now that they're not so buggy, I will be using them more frequently. And then out front, we just have a standard mailbox and trash can situation. Threw in a bunch of bushes and landscaping to kind of just keep it all very cohesive and simple. It didn't need too much, and I didn't want to overwhelm, so I just kind of tried to keep it nice and easy, and I wanted it to sort of match the surrounding landscaping of this world. This is in Newcrest, by the way, and it is very, very empty on this side of the world, but I thought that it would look nice, and maybe I'll build up this neighborhood a little bit more with similar houses so that it all kind of matches. But I wanted to make sure there was like a patio space in the back, and then it leads to the rest of the world, which is kind of like a park right behind their house. I thought that was just a good little thing to have. Like, it looks like they have more yard than they actually do. Basically, it was what the illusion I was trying to build up to. But here's their little garden planter box, and that's actually hydroponic, so it waters itself, which is quite nice. I wish I had that. There's also a bee box. There's a little umbrella table with some standard white plastic chairs, and then some more landscaping. And I believe I end up throwing in like an end table next to the grill, and I put some like barbecue sauces and some like spatulas and such on that table so that you have all of the accoutrements you need when you are getting ready to grill a big family meal of some kind, which I did have my sim playtest. So everything in this home is completely playtested. Everything works great. I did not have any issues with routing. Also, the lighting is really nice on this lot, thank goodness. And there's a lot of outdoor and indoor lighting. So luckily, no issues with that. But after that update, I was really worried for a while, so I'm glad that everything worked out in the end. There's also flower boxes on the outside of most of the windows because I thought that that was necessary, and it looked really cute, kind of helped finish off the home. But here we're going to get into some live mode footage, and we have our family here eating breakfast and cleaning up dishes. I like that there's a little spot at the island for everybody to eat, but there's also a big open dining table in case they have more people over. It's just very inviting and warm and fun, and I like the dark color in the living room. And then here's Dad getting on the computer working on some programming, and just so you can see, he can easily walk to the computer desk and sit down. You don't have to do any finagling to get him to sit down and do any work. I thought that was important to illustrate in this case because there's so much stuff on the desk. Then Mom was out here just making a nice meal for everybody. So she, I think, made some like barbecue ribs or something, which sounds delicious, but I digress. It all worked out really nicely, and I had a lot of fun playing with this family. I did that for a few days after I got done building it because I thought that it was worth giving it a go. But here it is. Here's the house. It's very simple. It's very cute. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you enjoy the screenshots. And yeah, let me know if there's anything else you'd like to see in the future, and please be sure to like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below anything and everything you want to tell me, because I am bored and lonely, and I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on everything that is going on in the Sims world. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.